completing final stretches. Dion was already done with all of that. He just made sure his shoes were tied tight and his backpack was securely on and concentrated on the path up ahead. Little pink flags marked the way. The starting gun sounded and they were off. Dion didn't try to push past people. This wasn't that kind of race. You had to keep up a good pace, but it was more about endurance than bursts of speed. He knew enough to pace himself. The racers who sprinted out in front now would be worn out later. He had plenty of time. He concentrated on his footing and his pace, but was startled when a small blur appeared by his foot. It was the dog. She hadn't gone away, and now she was running alongside him. Her little legs moved fast, but she was keeping pace. Despite himself, Dion laughed. "All right," he told her. "If you want to come with me, you can, as long as you can keep up." The dog barked in response and kept right on running. "This is fun," the little dog thought. The bright yellow man was nice, after all. He'd petted her and talked to her, and he'd laughed when she started running with him. She liked to run. It was nice to feel the fresh air and watch the ground speeding by beneath her feet. He seemed to like it too. So she settled in and ran with him. They ran together. A lot of runners listened to music when they ran. Dion didn't most of the time. He preferred to keep his eyes and ears open. But he did get lost in his thoughts. A part of his brain concentrated on his footing and the path and the sun overhead and the other runners. But a lot of him just tuned out. He thought about his wife, Lucia, back in Edinburgh, his job, his friends, his family. It helped the time pass quickly. He wasn't too surprised when he glanced down at one point and didn't see any sign of the dog. She must have gotten bored or tired or distracted and decided to quit. That was fine. It had been nice having someone to run with, but Dion wasn't here to make friends, even with a dog. He was here to compete at his best, and now that he didn't have to worry about tripping over the dog, he picked up his pace even more. Time to get serious about this race. Dion wasn't sure how much time had passed, maybe an hour, maybe two, when he noticed a shadow near his feet again. The dog was back. He hadn't heard her return, but she fell back into step beside him as if she'd never been away. "Welcome back," he told her, and she barked once. She didn't seem to mind the new pace either. For such a little dog, she was fast, and she had stamina too. They'd already been out here for hours, and it was hot, with no shade around for miles. Dion didn't mind, and apparently the dog didn't either. That was fine. "Let's keep moving," he told her, and she just wagged her tail in response. The dog stayed with him for a while after that. Then the trail led across a small creek. It was about 3 feet wide, and Dion jumped across without even slowing down. The dog didn't follow, though. Her legs were much too short to jump that distance, and the water that ran through the creek was much too fast for her to wade across. Instead, she sat down and barked at him, as if she was calling for him to stop. Then she whimpered a bit too. She sounded so sad. Dion didn't stop, though. He couldn't. He had a race to run, and she wasn't even his dog. Instead, he just put her out of his mind and concentrated on running. Dion had covered only a few feet when the barking and whimpering stopped. Then, not 10 minutes later, he saw a flash of brown, and the dog was back by his side again. She must have jumped the creek after all, he thought, or somehow gone around. Dion laughed. "Determined little thing, aren't you?" he asked. She barked in reply. When he reached the next checkpoint, people cheered him on, but they cheered the dog even more. "There's that dog again," they shouted. The dog wagged her tail and barked happily at the people. They were excited to see her, and she was happy to see them too. Someone gave her some food, and someone else gave her some water. But she never let the man in yellow out of her sight. There was something about him, something she really liked. He was special. He sat for a few minutes, talking to some of the other people. But when he